And let me say real quick too, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person struggling with this, because I've been telling myself as I get older I need to get more politically educated. But I can't take Trump seriously. I know I'm not gonna vote for him, period.
I mean, and I think that's a fair feeling, but I think your first thought is important to, like, okay, I still have to push through and learn and understand what's happening.
And it's kind of sad that we're in a day and a time where you have a president who is such an authoritarian that the only option you have is to vote for someone who seems like they're not the authoritarian. Welcome to the TMF podcast, where we have too many feelings. I'm your host, T. Staples, and I'm joined today by
Miss Monroe, the one and only amazing.
All right. And who else we got?
You already know what it is. Your main man, Freddie B, checking in one time.
Yes. Freddie B, Miss Monroe, how y'all doing? Listen, for all our listeners out there who don't know how we put this podcast together in the midst of a pandemic, let me be the first to tell you, we're bringing it all to you from the comforts of our homes. That's right, 100% remote. And if you feel our show, send us a message. Our handles are in the description. We'd love to hear your feedback and let us know how you feel. And today, we've got a great episode for you, political folks out there. And listen, for everybody, if you're an American, you need to be listening to this show, because we're going to talk about the debates. We're going to talk about, we got this election coming up. 2020's election is around the corner.
Around the corner? Please, I ain't trying to do this again. I'm like, man, nigga, no. Hell no. I'm done with this year.
Yeah, we don't do 2020 again. But the election is upon us. You must go out and vote. So before we get into that, we have a little segment I like to call The Internet Never Lost.
Man, he is definitely going to be the next evil villain in the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's right. And today, in today's attempt to navigate through the endless insanity of interconnectivity, we have a special Internet Never Lost segment from Freddie B. Take it away.
All right, so y'all know LeBron, he just won his 4th championship with the LA Lakers. So, he did it for Kobe. Kobe passed, unfortunately. And his daughter and some other people, but specifically speaking to the Lakers, he passed earlier this year, and so LeBron, he's very focused on bringing it home for Kobe, and so obviously anytime LeBron is going to win a championship, and every year people talk about, is he the GOAT, the GOAT conversation, and so pretty much now the GOAT conversation is between LeBron and Jordan, who's the GOAT, and so that has taken over the internet once again. It's been so many different think pieces that have come out about LeBron and Jordan. Who's the GOAT? Jordan has 6 rings. LeBron has 4 rings. But Jordan has been to more finals than LeBron. So it's who's the GOAT? And at the end of the day, if you ask me, I mean, we can have a long conversation about this, but if you ask me, Jordan is definitely still the GOAT, because simply being Jordan highs are higher than LeBron. It's close. Don't get me wrong. It's close. I say Jordan is 1A, LeBron is 1B, and then you have everybody else. And just to put it out there, Kobe is not in the GOAT discussion. Great player, but he's not in the GOAT discussion. It's LeBron or Jordan. Jordan is the GOAT. Jordan's highs are higher than LeBron. If you look at all the years that he didn't make the finals, so on and so forth, Jordan had some spectacular years. In the late 80s, those years were spectacular, something that LeBron can't really touch. Now, on average, the average of them, I would probably maybe give it a hair to LeBron, but their lows are probably about equal. But Jordan's highs are just higher than LeBron. Jordan can literally take over a whole game, and he's done it more often. For example, it's a story about Steve Smith. Steve Smith, I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan. He was a guard for the Hawks, and he told a story about how Jordan counted down the points to him. Counted the points down at the beginning of the game, went to him. I think he said he made a shot and just said 44 or whatever. I think it was something like that. But you can. I think we should definitely play that. We gonna play that.
So what would you hear from Michael?
Everything. I mean, from Michael. One time I know he started counting backwards. He said something like 38, and I didn't get it, Reggie. You know what I mean? And he started saying 36. I said, wait a minute. So he going backwards, but now if he get to 0, he got 40. But it was me and Michael has a lot of talks.
So, 5, 4, 3,
going down.
Going down.
And so you heard it right there. Like, Jordan counts down the points that he's going to score, and he scores them all in one game. That's some insane, serious stuff from Jordan. LeBron ain't built like that, and LeBron didn't get that killer mentality until he went to the Heat. Jordan came into the league with that killer mentality. Had LeBron came into the league with the killer mentality from the jump, maybe we might be having a different GOAT conversation. But for right now, the GOAT is still, for right now, Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Wow. That's good, Freddie B. That's good. Who do you think is the GOAT? And is there really room for only one GOAT at the top?
Yep.
Send us a message. Our handles are in the description, and let us know how you feel about that.
Yes. Hey, look, I'm definitely open. Definitely hopping my mentions or whatever. We can have this discussion all day long. We can even get on a Facebook Live if somebody want to. IG Live. We can do this.
This has been Freddie B this week in this edition of The Internet Never Lost. Catch y'all next time. All right, so now for today's big topic. Dun 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 dun. That's my news music.
Oh wow.
Oh wow, your news music sucks.
Dun, 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 dun.
What is this music from? Like the 80s?
I mean,
Yeah, it
that's
definitely
off the
sounds
fly.
like 80s.
I just did off the top of my head. I did dun 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 dun.
Okay,
Somebody out there
spare
compose
us.
that right now. Somebody gonna compose that. You gonna hear that? That's gonna be somebody's
No.
news intro. Watch.
Actually,
Just
nobody's
you
going to
wait.
do that. Actually, nobody's
Just
going
y'all
to
wait.
propose that.
Just
Actually,
wait.
yeah, no,
So look,
nobody's going to do that.
we had the debates, and
Tragic.
we had the presidential debate, the vice presidential debate, and there was supposed to be a second debate, but it got canceled for Trump reasons. And I want to know, have you? First of all, did you guys get a chance to see the debates? Have you?
Yeah, man, we saw the vice president and the two town halls and the first presidential debate. Yeah, we own it.
saw the
I'm
sound
not
host?
gonna lie. Like, I couldn't even make it through the presidential debate.
Really?
Like,
was it
just-
frustrating?
Yeah, like it was just childish. It's so childish. Like it was at one point, I think maybe like getting close to halfway through, the moderator was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need you guys to calm down," and Trump kept trying to talk, and he was like kind of basically leaning more on him, like, "Hey, can you calm down?" And he did like the little school kid move. Yeah, but he's doing it too. It was like real. Both of y'all almost 80. Like this is ridiculous. Y'all too damn old.
Freddie B, what was do you have any like just outtakes from what you saw, what you watched? I mean, were you able to get into it at all?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we working our way through the debate, starting at the first debate, yes, the first debate was childish. It was a debate unlike we've ever seen, and quite frankly, it was hilarious seeing people in the news, like on reputable news programs, calling it a shit show. Like, and also with me, I don't think I've ever seen a white person call something a shit show. Like I saw that, I was like, oh, somebody white called it a shit show. I was like, hold on, have I ever? And I started thinking, I was like, I don't think I've ever heard a white person say, oh, that's a shit show. Trump is a bully. That's the thing. Like, it's crazy to me. The thing that blows me is that people don't know like how Trump operates. He's been in office for 4 years, and even before that, he was building up to this point. He's been who he's been. It's like you go into with a whole game plan to capitalize on his negative points, his downfall, so that you can prop yourself up so you can look better, not get caught up into the mudslinging. He got caught up, and then the moderator was boo-boo. He was a pushover. Yeah. He was like just a straight. I'm like, get this fool, get him out of here.
But let's just be honest. We saw in the town hall, the lady moderated it, and the lady who was kind of like
Savannah Guthrie.
Yeah, I felt like he was like just doing the same old Trump. He running her down too.
And
like,
so,
is it a moderator issue, or is it a fact that lack of respect that Trump has for people?
I think it's both. I mean, it's your job to moderate. You have to jump in there. You know what I'm saying? You have to bring order to it. That's the whole point of you being there. But also it is Trump because Trump acts like a 10-year-old.
What did you think about at the debates, some of the things that they spoke about? Was there anything that stuck out to you? And let's back up to the first presidential debate for this year, where Joe Biden and Trump were going head to head. Were there any things that that stuck out to you in these debates that made you kind of think to yourself, oh, okay, he's got a good point, or the other guy has a good point? Or was it just more of them arguing back and forth, and you just kind of feel like we weren't making any progress and understanding what policies they want to really implement?
I didn't feel like we got any progress. I just like, like as Freddie B said before, it was just a big shit show. And I think because I don't know. I want to say I feel like Joe Biden is somewhat more prepared than Trump, but I feel like this debate made him kind of like equal to Trump in the fact that he was just so flustered that he really didn't say anything to me, in my opinion. He kind of talked in like those big talking points that like how Trump does. Yeah, we have this thing, it's going to be amazing, but he ain't really saying nothing. I feel like Joe Biden did that a lot, but I think it's because he was a little thrown off by Trump.
Or is his thing more like, we're going to move to New York. Everyone's moving. I'm moving. Actually, I'm already here.
It's gonna be amazing.
You're not there yet, but you'll be here soon. We'll make sure we make a plan.
Yeah,
it's going to be
yeah.
huge. It'll be a party. I'll throw a party. It'll be a bash. We do really good bashes. If you've seen my
bashes?
record, our bashes are really big. They're humongous. The blacks love them. The blacks love them. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's pretty much how he is. And Joe Biden was kind of doing that night. And I was like, okay, I can see he's really getting to you.
Yeah, and let's not forget who caused us to have to move. It was China.
China. Oh, that is like, you can't, like, nobody. I'm surprised. Like, even if you don't like Trump, like, you can't tell me dude not funny. Like, we got this virus and it came over from China, and he like it came from the China virus, and he like he just like people could like, we can't stop saying China, but why would I stop saying it? Why would I stop calling it China virus? Because it came from where? China.
So from that first debate, then I'm just gonna go ahead and say it sounds like that if we were all independent, could we have made a decision from that first debate?
Absolutely not.
No. All right.
I mean, maybe our personality.
Yeah.
You get okay. So if we're all independent voters, we're trying to figure out which side we're gonna go. That first debate really did not give us direction.
No, I mean, only in the sense that I'd have been like, okay, Trump is an asshole. I'm if anything, I might have been like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna vote green. Like that would have just
not
been
even
it.
purple. You gonna vote green. You ain't even go between. You go green a whole nother.
Well, green is a party.
I know, but I was being like, red, blue, purple in between. In between. When you took the color, I went to the color wheel. I guess that was just too. Yeah, you're right. You can't have everybody voting because some people just be dumb when they vote. You know,
green is a secondary color. Purple is a secondary color. Okay, I see.
Mm-hmm. So let's go on to this next debate. Then you got Mike Pence and Kamala Harris. They get up into they had the plexiglass walls between them. What was y'all know the moderator's name? I forget the lady's name. The moderator. I think she did a good job though. I watched.
She made it very clear after every statement. Yes, and this will be your allowed time to talk, and then we will move on to the other person. Like she made it real clear, like we're not about to have this up in my debate.
And the reason why I even brought up earlier in the show, is it more the moderator or the person, and y'all both agreed on both, because in the second debate, we actually have. I would say Kamala Harris is a little bit more fiery as a person, but she's a decent person and a respecting person. And Mike Pence is like trying to play the whole, religious, like conservative role. Right. And so they seem to be more open to, following rules. Even when they broke the rules, they broke them a little differently. They broke them and say, well, but I really think this point is important for the people. They talked about it being important for the people every time they broke the rule. Let me finish this because I think this is important. Whereas, when Trump and Joe Biden was breaking the rules, they were just going. Like it was like a motor just running and not stopping.
I just feel like if there wasn't no camera and there wasn't two podiums, like I felt like they was going to start a fist fight. Like it was just that.
Right. The first debate, it could have gotten to two boys on the schoolyard. Right. Whereas this actually felt a little bit more civil. The second debate, the vice presidential debate, I think that there was some opportunities to talk about what each side was going to do. And from that debate, what were you guys' thoughts on some of the things they talked about and how you felt about the debate? Were you able to get a sense of the type of leadership that they're going to bring if either one of them wins the ticket?
Kamala just seemed overall more knowledgeable. Like she actually, bring up actual facts. It wasn't just like these generalized statements, which is like, okay, if both the actual presidential candidates are some jackasses, like okay, cool, at least the VP got some sense. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I felt watching that. Also, side note, being a black woman, I was just like, go on, girl, because I could tell she wanted to, like, jump in there, like her little body language. I'm like, yes, girl, I was thinking that too.
With the head
she
snap,
didn't say that, but I knew
with
it.
the facial expressions. I think
Oh
there was
my
like,
gosh.
I think there was a
All
bunch
day.
of memes talking about, how you say something silently or something, and like just showing her face in different angles. Yeah.
I know Miss Monroe was loving every minute.
Hell yeah, I'm like, we gonna have somebody like that in the White Office? Yes, honey, yes, I'm with it. I'm with
Not
it.
the White House, the White Office. She can get in the house.
That's true. That's true.
The White Office. That's funny.
So we know the Biden Harris ticket getting your vote just off the strength of a
Oh, not even that. It ain't stripped to that. It's for other reasons. I don't want to hijack. Look, I don't want to hijack our discussion and switch it over to something else. But for totally other reasons, other than that, that just helps support the reasons I already had.
Okay. I mean, as far as me for the VP debate, it was a throwback, I guess, refreshing for some, a throwback to old debates where neither candidate answers the question. Like they ask questions and they start talking, and you be like, "Hold on, nigga, you ain't answer the question."
They showed
I didn't get my answer. Like, so nobody really answered the question. It was, but I love seeing Kamala, with those Kamalas rather. Excuse me, Kamala. That's Kamala, yeah, Kamala
Harris.
Yeah, with those because I'm trying to think. I saw that it was like comma. She said like comma then love. So Kamala, I love seeing those faces because I can relate. Obviously, being a black male, being around black women, I can relate to all those faces and even some of the phrases she was saying. She's like, "Oh, I'm glad you said that." She said that one time. I was like, "Oh, Pence, you don't know what you stepped in, boss."
Right.
You don't ever in your life ever want to talk to a black woman and be having a debate with her, and then she starts her sentence off with, "I'm glad you said that,"
because she got something for your ass.
Man, she about to pull some receipts out on your behind. Yes, sir.
Right.
But Pence, like I find it amazing. People call Trump a racist, and there's all the focus on Trump. I guess in some regards he's the president, so he gets most of the flack. But nobody is talking about the amazingly abundance of racism that Mike Pence exhibits. Mike Pence is that like you said, he would keep going, be quote unquote respectful, and that's how like the racists like him play it. They're respectful while respectfully castigating you. So it's like you look at him, it's like you can't really say. It's like that racism is happening, but you can't point out because then you point it out. It's like, oh, good. Miss Monroe, like, what do you mean? Like, calm down. Like, oh my God, right. Fred, like, why are you? Right. It's like, Fred, why? Like, what do you mean? Like, this, nothing happened. It's like,
we're talking Peel level, Get Out level racism.
Right. Exactly.
So, and do you consider, because one of the things that I saw on the internet, interwebs, as I surfed the interwebs, I saw people saying that they feel like watching the vice presidential debate, like they were really making a decision more or less for the president through this debate, more so than they were through the actual presidential debate. One, because both of the people are like, super old, everybody's past 75. And then the other thing, because like these people seem like the more sensible, knowledgeable, like policy type people. Did y'all get a sense of that? Like, okay, yeah. I could really make a better decision looking at this debate than I could from the presidential debate.
I could definitely see people thinking that, because both the presidential candidates will, whoever is elected will be the oldest elected president ever. And so,
right.
With the coronavirus, whereas people who are older are susceptible to the virus.
But Trump made it, though. Trump made it. He made it. So it's left up to Joe now. Joe ain't made it through. Joe ain't hit it yet.
Well, so it's possible. I mean, like with the virus, it's not like, that's the thing. Like also, I mean, yeah, you want to protect yourself. You want to wear your mask. You want to socially distance. But I think some people blow it, like make it sound like it's a death sentence. But it's not a death sentence. Right.
But at the same time, we also talk about the president of the United States and the potential, the potentiality that one of them could pass from any number of illnesses that affect people in their upper age range like that.
Right. And so with me, like that, it does make me nervous. Like when I heard that Trump had it, it made me nervous. And even with Biden, it's like, okay, could Biden have gotten
nervous. I was praying.
Oh Lord.
She's praying. Okay.
Two things I would never wish on nobody. I would never be happy about is jail and death. I never do that. So that's just me. It don't matter who it is. It could be David Duke. I'm not gonna pray that hope that he die. But
what about the devil?
What
about the devil?
What about the devil?
Does the devil get to get out of free jail card with you and the survive from death card?
I mean, I'm talking about a person. I'm talking about like a human being. You
Okay,
name it
gotcha.
celestial being.
Okay, celestial being, got you.
But a person, so I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. I'm not gonna wish death or prison on anybody,
Okay,
because like
what about
here's
the Kool-Aid
the
man?
thing.
What about the Kool-Aid man? What about the Kool-Aid man?
Kool-Aid man is I don't really like Kool-Aid. I like juice.
The dude who
But,
got what's
he
his
can go
name?
by.
Mike Jones dude, the one that Mike Jones he gave everybody the Kool-Aid.
Oh, you talking about Jim Jones?
Jim Jones. I said Mike
I
Jones.
was like, what?
Dang, I said the
man.
rapper name.
Mike
My bad, Mike
Yeah,
Jones.
my
My
bad.
bad, Mike, man.
Jim
My
Jones.
bad,
I mean,
dog.
no, not even. And the reason why I wouldn't do that is because it's the same reason why people say like, "Oh, why you judging?" Like, I'm not gonna judge you because I don't have a heaven and hell. I'm not God. I don't have a heaven and hell to put anybody in. So then I'm not gonna then take it to another step and then wish different things that can take your mortality from you. Like that's another godlike thing. So if you're not gonna judge nobody,
I don't have
you
heaven
shouldn't.
or hell. That's why I pray, and to the person that do.
Right, so Miss Monroe, she'll snatch your breath from you, not me. But like I said, that's just me.
Look here, guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just asking. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it crossed your mind. Maybe it didn't.
Maybe he
You
tripped
know,
over a
people
rock and then
died,
come
you know
back,
what I'm saying?
you know.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these people done died because them. They ain't have to die, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, maybe you
You know
should
what
put
I'm
it on your
saying?
list. Consider it. Just think about it.
You wouldn't wish that on anybody, but you do recognize the mortality or the humanity in which they both live, that they're old and they could, you could be potentially voting not just for your president,
Of course.
in the sense of for Biden or for Trump, but in the sense of for Kamala Harris and Mike Pence, because they would be the ones stepping into if their predecessor was to leave.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people are getting. And then real quick, bold prediction: Candace Owens versus Kamala Harris in a 2024 presidential election, provided that Biden and Kamala wins.
That's a bold prediction right there. That's a very bold prediction. So listen, let's move this thing right along. The same time frame where it was supposed to be a debate, they decided to hold a town hall, and they decided to hold them at the same time. So what it became was kind of like dueling town halls, where it was essentially a debate without a debate. And they both held them in the same style, same fashion, where there is a host who would be a person who kind of facilitated questions from regular lay folks, just people out of the audience. And they would have questions coming from different constituents who were for, against, or either for them or against them, or Republican, Democrat, and Independent. And I feel like, to me, the style of what these town halls were, I think we need to see that more often, where people get to come and just ask questions, and let's just see if they're going to just answer the question. And I really thought that this was a better showing for both candidates to really talk their stuff. What did y'all think?
I didn't watch them.
Okay, so you didn't watch them, so you don't have no hot takes on this.
No, I don't.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So what I say is I enjoy the town hall style debates and the town hall style period. Me watching them, I like Biden's better. Mm-hmm. I like Biden's better because I gotta feel like Biden went into depth with questions a little bit more than Trump. But that's what Trump does. Trump kind of uses like souped up. Yeah, superlative type words, and he just said we're doing great. It's doing wonderful, but he doesn't really go into things and specifically talk to things. I like Biden's better, but then I also like the moderator. I like George Stephanopoulos better than Savannah Guthrie. Savannah Guthrie got like in back and forth with him. She got emotional in her feelings. You could tell like, okay, she probably voting for Biden. George was just sitting there. And he was just like, he'll press, boom. And then also what I like, when people ask questions, George will look, did that answer your question? He would ask them, did that answer your question? So then you can hear that response. I think that's very great. And I wish Savannah had done that when people ask questions, Trump answered it. And then she, instead of her trying to hurry up and hop in and attack him, like turn to the person, like, did he answer your question? So they can reply, either say yes or no. And it's great for them to see like, nope, you said that. That's some BS. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to call you out on your BS. You didn't ask my question. So they can start to see like, oh, no, you're not as high up as you were. We need to get cut down some.
And let me say real quick, too, because, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person struggling with this, because I've been telling myself as I get older, I need to get more politically educated. But I can't take Trump seriously. I know I'm not going to vote for him, period. So, and especially after that first debate, it's like, why? Like, why watch? Like, what's the point? And I know I shouldn't feel that way. I know I should be more active, but just the fact that he's the candidate, like if it was anybody else that I felt like I may be on a little bit on the fence about, like, you know what, I'm more on the Democrat side, but you know what, the Republicans is saying certain things that kind of align with what I believe in. Let me hear him say more. I already know vehemently I am not with Trump at all. So it's kind of like why am I wasting my time?
I mean, and that's I think that's a fair feeling, but I think your first thought is important to, like, okay, I still have to push through and learn and understand what's happening.
And I think the one thing that and I had to discuss this even with my mom, because she's just so kind of similar to you, Miss Monroe, is that, you know, she's already made her decision. But I'm like, well, listen, are you going to watch, you know, the town hall? Are you going to, let's just see what is being presented as information. And it's kind of sad that we're in a day and a time where you have a president who is such an authoritarian that the only option you have is to vote for someone who seems like they're not the authoritarian in that sense. But if you really look at the record of Joe Biden, I mean, I would put the whole crime bill in probably like the top 5, maybe top 10 things, were worst things that help hold black folks in America back.
Oh,
I would put that in like the top 10 things.
I got something to say about that.
But it's just the fact that Trump is such an authoritarian and he's so outrageous and he's so big and bombastic that it's almost like it kind of pigeonholes you to whatever else is left, like the shit on the plate.
Right. So and in that too, because I totally get what people are saying, but what I fear is, like how Freddie B was saying earlier, how Trump talks. He is emboldening racists. And also too, I fear if we don't get him out of office right now during the pandemic, while people are actually paying more attention than they normally would, if we get to 4 years later and things have kind of gone back to normal and he decides he don't want to leave the office, which I feel like if he wins another term, he's not going to do. I kind of feel like he's going to do that now, but I feel like it's going to be worse then. I feel like that's why we have to get him out now. And then the whole Joe Biden thing, I'm on the fence about that, because back in the 80s when, you know, we were in the 80s and 90s, whatever, when crack was like a really big issue in a lot of these black neighborhoods, a lot of black politicians were asking for these types of laws too, because these neighborhoods are being decimated. And if you didn't grow up in a neighborhood where you had a bunch of drug dealers, like I know every time my granny's house is getting shot up, you know what I'm saying? Like, and being in the house when that stuff was happening, like I was on board with some of that talk too as a kid. It's like, yeah, because I just want to be able to go outside and walk around and play and feel safe. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think nobody really knew what the long-term effects of that was going to be. So I kind of don't, I knock him for it. Like if it was another candidate, then maybe that would be something on my fence. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, let me check this other person out, because I know Joe Biden was on this side. But at the same time, like Thomas is saying, Trump is just so much of an authoritarian. And I feel like he's really going to just try to, basically, because he already said that he likes all these other dictators from other countries. I feel like he's trying to do the same thing. I just want to get him out. You know what I'm saying? And in the next 4 years, we can get the raggedy motherfuckers out too, because they're gonna be ready. I'm not really for Joe anyways, but it's kind of like with Hillary. Like I guess I'm with her. How that whole thing was. It's kind of like that with Joe. Like I guess I'm with you, because I'm definitely not with Trump.
I mean that 94 crime bill. He actually talked about it in the town hall, and he said like, oh, it wasn't good based on how it was constructed. But then the thing is what Joe does, he likes to do the, like, I got a black friend thing. He does that a lot. Yeah. He does the I got a, and that's the part that really like bristles me, because the thing is I understand the two types of races. I understand the southern races. I understand the northern races. They're two different people, but they all drive towards the same cause, just in different avenues. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of what he does embodies what the northern races is. You know, they doing stuff behind the scenes. They doing like stuff to chip away at your being. And so Biden talks about a 94 crime bill, and a lot of black people supported, a lot of black politicians supported it. I also know that, you know, a lot of black politicians were in the pocket, even now, in the pocket of more powerful white people to get stuff pushed across. And then we talk about crack. Oh my God, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But yeah, you think about what was going on in black neighborhoods, the Harlem Renaissance. Harlem, I live in Harlem. Harlem Renaissance, Stryver's Row, black millionaires. Black people were coming to Cotton Club in Harlem. Black people doing their thing. 80s came, they had to drop crack in, because you got to stop black excellence. You can't let it just keep going because we would have took over and then we wouldn't have been in the minority. You look at the black population. Black population stopped at 14. We're still 14% of the American population. We've been like that since the 80s, since crack, since Planned Parenthood proliferated in the neighborhoods. We've been stuck there since the 80s. Had that kept going, we would have probably been like 30% of the population, black millionaires everywhere, running stuff. Like, white people can't take that. I got emotional just yet. I got too many feelings. I'm sorry, guys. Too many feelings. Oh,
you got a lot of feelings, man. You got a lot of feelings, man.
Ooh, shoot.
And this topic is really, it's one of those. The political debates really does spark up a lot of feelings. It really does, and it's just unfortunate that there are people who are going to come away from these debates without a true decision of who they really want to go after. There are people who are going to come out of these debates just still unclear. So my hope is that you all go back, watch the first two.
One of them.
Yeah, go back and rewatch the first two debates, watch the 2 town halls, and there's another debate coming up pretty soon here. It's actually next week based on when we're recording this. Go watch the second debate, which should have been the third one, but it will be the second debate. And really just see if you can come away with something, and let's think about realistically where we are, where we want to go. And as just a public service announcement, because I think this is our duty to do it because we are on air and we are personalities. I must say, go vote. Everybody, no matter where you are, if you're eligible to vote, vote. If you're eligible to vote, vote.
Right.
It seems we have way too many feelings, which is okay because we should have feelings about this. This is about our livelihood. So send us a message. Our handles are in the description. Let us know how you feel about the presidential debates. We would love to hear your feedback. This has been a good one. I've been here with
the lovely Miss Monroe
and
Shemaine, man, Freddie B. Checking in for the one time.
Okay.
Hey, and I'm yours truly, T Staples. And make sure you catch us next time when we have too many feelings. Peace.